Getting into your work? No. I mean Clyde. Having trouble with that bolt?
Yeah.
Hey Noah, do you know who Clyde is yet?
No.
He was an actor. He reminds me a lot of you. He sort of looks a lot like you, but he liked to strip a lot of cars down and kiss women. But he hit kind of hard. So anyway, when you first time you see him, you'll it'll be like looking in the mirror. All right, so we got Noah on engine mounts, solid bolt, solid mounted in, and they've both don't want to turn too good. So he's going to work on this, getting this out, getting the fan off, getting the transmission off. Unfortunately, we can't turn the crank. I don't like pulling transmissions out with the torque converter still on the engine, but we don't have a lot of a choice on this one. I don't think we're going to get it unstuck beforehand. So we'll get the engine out and pull the pan, see what it looks like. A lot of people say something about the two barrel. The two barrel was there because of rules. And it's my understanding that the class that this was in, if you ran a 4-barrel on headers, you had to run a stock engine. If you ran a 2-barrel in exhaust manifolds, you could run a modified engine. And that 2-barrel is actually a 500 CFM Holley. And I checked the list numbers on it last night, so it's actually a kind of a valuable carburetor. It's not crazy expensive, but as a core, it's probably, you know, easy worth $100. So anyway, we're going to he's going to keep playing with this, and we'll get back up on the Roadster.
Yep, that's it. So it needs to go up.
If I can get it up, you put it over on or something. Okay folks, we got it out, got the transmission off of it, and we got it unstuck. Turn it now, Clyde. So it's still coming up. This cylinder right here, we've honed it a little bit, but just to get, you know, get the rust out. But still won't know whether it's right or not until we do some measuring, whether we can get by with that cylinder, or if it's going to need sleeved, or if the whole block's going to need bored. But I did not find any numbers on them pistons besides the ones that I had shown. There's no 30 or anything like that. This could be a GM stock bottom end. I don't know. We're gonna pull the pan off here and we'll figure it out what it is. But I think it's looking better as possibly, you know, something usable. Not sure which cam's in it. We'll have to get all of it out. We'll tear it all the way down because it's gonna have to be cleaned really well. So much rust and crap and stuff in it. So, all right, okay, we got Noah down there pulling the oil pan on that engine now. I did get the back panel tacked on, and as you can see, I ended up just bead rolling around it, and come out all right. I like it. It's going to be fine. Now I just got to, I'm going to make an inset for the license plate. But in North Carolina, they'll let you run the year of the vehicle license plate. So as long as you keep your good tags under the seat. Now, I don't know what year you want to call this, but we're going to say a 31 because it's got a 31 cow and stuff. So, anyway, so I've got a set of 31 license plates. And it's just, you know, for looks. It ain't no big deal. But, you know, they're wider than a regular license plate. So the one that was in this car I can't use. We're going to end up having to make one, but I'm going to wait until the plate gets here. I've got one on the other car, but I don't feel like taking it off just to get the measurements when I got other things I need to be doing anyway. So as soon as it comes, we'll work on that. And then let me see, we've got, I guess I'm going to go ahead and start on this as bad as I hate to. Sort of been putting it off, and I can't just keep putting it off. We've got to get this piece cut out and matching the other side too. So we've got some cutting and hammering and beating and banging, quite a bit to do. If we can get that done, that's not so bad as what this is going to be. So I'm going to get at it and see if we can get it fitted, and here it won't be too long before we get things straightened out inside and start building the trunk lid. And what I'm using on the trunk lid is the old trunk lid, this trunk lid, and I'm going to be able to use 5 rows. I thought I was going to get by with 4, but the way it measures out, I got to use 5 rows of these louvers, and we're just going to basically louver the whole trunk lid, just because we've got it. All right, so let me get at trying to get that piece fitted and see how that works out for us. All right. Okay, so I'm starting by putting it where I want it. I got it clamped on so it don't move, and then I marked where my edge is at and where I need to cut it and where I need to bend it. So that's going to be the first thing I do, and then I'll hammer the bead in it, and then we'll set it back, and that'll give us a location permanent. So, and then we'll figure out where to cut from there. All right, so we got the oil pan off, and from what I can tell, everything actually looked pretty good in there. Not much water in the pan. I thought there would be a lot more in it, but there's not. That's got a, I don't know how many quart, but it's got a deep sump wide pan on it, which I don't care for. I mean, it'd be fine if you're racing, but for a street car, I don't care for it. So anyway, we did get this thing unstuck and rolling over before we pulled it apart. And that cylinder, I honed it a little bit with the piston all the way down just to try to clean it up some. And that cylinder is not looking bad at all. So I don't think it's beyond honing, putting a new set of rings on. And from what I can see on the bottom side, I'm assuming that's probably a steel crank, but it's 4-bolt main. It's aftermarket rods. I don't know what kind. Didn't really try to even look at them, of the side of them, but it probably says what they are on them. Everything looks good though. I don't see any issues. There wasn't any water, you know, that got on the crank or on the rods or rusted anything up. Definitely aftermarket side. And I feel the casting on the side, so it probably says what they are. So what we ended up with, of course, is what looks to be probably going to be a usable engine. You know, 4-bolt main. We may have a good transmission, 350 turbo with the dual bolt pattern. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But we've got solid motor mounts. It looks like an underdrive pulley. And we do have that oil pan that we can get rid of. And with the pickup, somebody will want it. Not me, but somebody will want it. So the double hump 461 casting heads, which is 64, 65 model, 300 horse, 327, I think is what they used them on. And I'm guessing the cam's probably going to be okay in this. We'll get the lifters out in the cam. It's double roller timing chain, of course. Flat top pistons, cannot find anything on them. I'm assuming this must be a stock bore block, and could be because of the class rules. Usually you can go 30 over at least, but I mean, if it didn't need it, that might be why they just didn't do it. And but like I said, I think it's going to be fine with a lot of cleanup, tear down. And here is the dual bolt pattern for anybody that hasn't seen one. You know, the Chevrolet comes up and down. Olds, Pontiac, Buick, and Cadillac come down here. So this will fit on either one. And you don't see them, you know, a whole lot, but they are around. And we did pull the rear cover off because I wanted to see if it had a limited slip or if it had a locker in it. I didn't figure it had a locker or that they had welded it, because I figure on a circle track, you know, you wouldn't want it to try to pull or, you know, try to go straight all the time. But let me show you. So here's what we've got. She's welded up. It didn't even do a lot of welding in there, but So it's not going to be anything I'm going to pull out. We could, looks like Richmond gears. We could pull the gears and see what they are, but I'm not real worried about it. I'm not looking for any particular gears right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. We'll just set this thing aside somewhere. We'll probably pull, like I said, the steering off of it, and the used steering wheel. Look like Clyde sitting up there. Hey, Clyde. Alright, so we're back to work on the coupe. We're going to get everything put up here because I'm afraid it's going to start raining. Get all these parts lined up. We'll get this torn down later. We know we got it, and we'll keep it oiled up good so we don't have to worry about it rusting anymore. I'm tickled about that cylinder though. I figured if any of them was going to be bad, it was going to be that one, but it seems like it was mostly just surface crud. There's really no pitting that I feel at all. So, all right, we didn't do too bad, I guess. Okay, so we cut this piece out and we hammered this down. We bent us an edge. So now we're going to start from the bottom side and hammer us the bead up through. Okay, so we've got part of the bead hammered. I'm not done in any way with it, but I want to go ahead and trim out because I need to shrink this side to get it rounded farther. So the more I remove from here that's unneeded, the better I'm going to have, better it's going to shrink. So, and put us a bend in it. So, work on that now. Okay, so now we got this cut. We got her in place, and now I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's coming straight out, and we've got to shrink this to try to get it down some. Now, it's kind of tough to do because this is holding you back because this is rounded. But what I'm going to do is, first thing you do is clean the paint off. The shrinker don't work if there's paint or rust. You need to get clean metal. So we'll get that cleaned off real good, and then we'll see if we can start shrinking that corner. Okay, we got it shrank. So now we got this pretty decent. It's raised up a little bit here, so we're going to do some tweaking on it. And we got a lot more to cut out up here, but we need to cut it up here, and I'm trying to keep it with the seam. So instead of taking a cut off wheel and just cutting through both pieces, which is a good way to do it, as long as you use thin blades like I'll use, we want the weld to be in the same place as that one. So what we'll do is go to the bottom side and trace it, and then we'll cut it out and try to cut it out perfect if we can. And that's, since we got it in the location where we want it, that's where it's going to stay. All right. Okay, so we got this cut out now, and it's not perfect yet because I don't have the bends right in this. It's got to come up higher. But everything else so far is working out. We got some marks here, but I'm going to double cut through both pieces, or I may trim it and then cut close, and then it's going to come up because there's a body line under here and around, and then we'll work with the corner up here just like we got to work with the other corner. But it's coming along. It takes a lot of time and a lot of aggravation to do something like this when you got compound bends and you're working with a piece that's not bent the same. So we'll get it. The only thing worse, I guess, would be was working with a flat sheet, and then what we would have done was English wheel and get it to this shape before we started on it. So I mean, we're basically doing the same thing, except the compound curve was already partially what we needed. So, all right. Okay, we just kept trimming until we got it where we wanted it. And we'll have to do some tweaking and bending on it. We'll have to get it up where we need it and weld it in through here first. I'm going to cut a little bit out of here, but I'm going to lay this as close as we can get it, and then I'm going to trim both. And that'll be where we weld it at, and the same way up here. And I've still got to cut away part of this area up under this. And I'll probably do that first, get it out of the way, get it down, get it tacked on, get it tacked where I need it here and here. And then we'll keep forming it. Well, before we tack it, we'll keep forming it until we get it down where we want it. And then we'll double cut it. And then put it together. And you're trying to Just keep your gaps from being too wide. This gap ain't wide, it's just down. It's got to come up. So I think we can work with it though. All right. Okay, we've got the bottom cut out inside. That on there, we'll have to cut around it here. Get it pulled up good. And we'll still have to do here. And we'll pull this down. But we're getting close. We'll have it here shortly. Okay, we're moving along. We're up to here. We're going to keep working it around. Welding it. We've got to hammer our body line in here. I didn't do it beforehand. I forgot. So we're going to do it afterwards. It's not that big of a deal. Hammer and dolly. Come in and come up from here and around. I've already started on it some, and we'll get it. Not a problem. All right. Hopefully this camera's still working. I smashed the whole front of it off. And I just stuck it back on there to where it would film, and it's time for a new one for sure. Anyway, we've got it in. I've got a lot more to do, a lot of hammering, welding, dollying, and we still got to do transition on both sides. And I've still got to do my body line in like the other side. But you know, it's in there, it's looking good, it matches the other side. We're not going to have any issues there. I may end up having to cut this back loose and lower the whole thing down a little bit, but that's not a problem either. But you know, it's where we need it, and that's a big step right there. But anyway, I've got a tow to go do, and it looks like it's going to start raining. I doubt I'll make it back before daylight or before dark. So we're going to be able to get cleaned up, and we're going to call it a day. And I'm going to be able to get this video posted. I wish I could have got more done, but you know how it goes. We still got this to do, and then we can start doing the inside of the trunk and all that, and finish up everything on the doors, and we'll have this body knocked out pretty quick. And then we're going to actually start smearing some fiberglass. And Noah has done some body work before, so I think we can get this pretty much knocked out at a decent time. I'll let him work on the body, and I'll go and work on some of the mechanics and try to get as much done as we can get done. So, all right, appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, bye.